Welcome to the Impact Evolution podcast. I'm your host, Coach Andy James. I've put this podcast out here to provide support, guidance, and insight through real life experience that I've learned so that you can impact your life through my lessons. This is raw guidance that will help you evolve your body, brain, business, or career. My purpose is to help you build, grow, and evolve into the best version of yourself to live a healthy, wealthy, fulfilled life. Welcome to this episode. Enjoy. Good morning, or good evening, or good day, depending upon when you're catching this. It's currently morning right now. I'm enjoying my coffee. And this is something that kept me up thinking last night. I'm laying there in bed and I had this thought running through my mind. Now, what I was thinking at that point in time was probably going to be 10 times more impactful than what I can actually translate first thing this morning. But what I want to be able to do is talk to you today about why do we choose to make health optional? We see this as something that we can pick and choose as and when we want, when it sees fit. And this is having a huge detrimental effect to the way people actually look after themselves long term. So you can look at any health warrior, i.e. myself, and look at what we would say in the sense of sustainability, accountability, all the fundamentals that really help you succeed and build a life full that's worth living. But a lot of people live these days in small moments, so they see their health also as an option. Just like you would do if you're scrolling through your phone and you see something pop up on the screen, it gives you an option to opt in or opt out. Most of the time, people are opting out with just general health, but there's only a short window of time that really actually creates an impact for somebody for them to be able to say, I need to pay attention. And what is this? This is things like going on holiday, or maybe you're going to meet or see people that you've not seen for a while and you want to be in the best presence that you physically can be at that point in time. So it's all about somebody else. You're going on a 8, 10, 12 week transformation that you've downloaded from some cookie cutter online program. And it's the best thing since sliced bread because you've dropped 6 pounds in the first week. Water retention. And then all of a sudden you think, right, this is a new version of me. And who are you doing it for is the question that I want to ask. Because when that 12, 10, 8 weeks is over and you decide then to stop, why? Why are you choosing at that point? Why is it an option to go, well, now I need to stop. Now I need to go back to the way that I was before, which was unhappy, which was potentially gaining weight, which was harming my body in ways that is prolonged rather than just moments in time. And this starts to make me wonder. So I was actually laid in bed for a while thinking about this, because I think this is one of the big triggers for me personally. I've had now, I would say, 2 big bouts of huge life challenges that in 2 different scenarios that life can throw at you. And both of them require you to be very, very health aware. Now, I think a lot of the time, should I say, people use or try to say that health is optional because they don't know how to manage it. They don't know what they should be managing, what it should look like long term. And therefore, it's always only about that moment in time, that holiday that you're working towards. Now, you're trying to work towards something for 12 weeks because you're worried about the stranger on the beach looking across for a split 2 seconds and forming an opinion on you. That's what it's really about. It's not about how you physically feel every single day when you're waking up, when you're looking at that person in the mirror and asking, who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I going in life? What is it that I'm currently achieving? What goals have I got to work towards? All of those things in themselves all boil down to your health. And how can I say this? Because health is a fundamental anchor for everything that we do. I mean, health is intertwined into everything in the sense of producing something successful with your life. Life enjoyment. You can't be unhealthy and out of pain if you're running around with your grandchildren in the future, but you decided not to look after yourself at some point. Now, all of a sudden, you're riddled with pain. And all of those decisions you're regretting at that point because you should have paid attention to my health a bit earlier on in life. But anyway, I'm not going to get into the things that trigger me. I want to talk about the things that you're possibly considering when you're thinking about your short-term and long-term health. because I was laid there and I was questioning, why do people see health being optional? Why do they think it is something that only matters when there's something more prompting that's going to be triggering them to go and do something, i.e. the holiday, or it's normally how we're visually seen by somebody else. We get to a point where all of a sudden the urgency that is created by how we are seen by somebody else is what drives that motivating factor forwards. It's, how do I appear on social media? How are people visibly judging me day in, day out? That is why I'm going to get off my backside today and I'm going to try and do something with my health. But I have a sneaky suspicion that people's fear around long-term sustainability with health, they think that it removes joy from life. They feel like it's too much to constantly manage and handle. Now, I can agree to it. I am going to agree to disagree at this point, because yes, there are a lot of things to consider, and there are, to a degree, more than what most would like to have as a focus within their day-to-day lives. Hence the reason why there are systems, services, products that are set up now that you can physically use that make this a lot easier. This is the reason why, like, i.e. myself, an executive coach working with Impact Evolution, this is what we do as a core fundamental. We take people from where they don't want to be no more and build them the best physical and mental body that they could physically enjoy life in, and deliver so that you get everything that you deserve. Now, if you're looking at that and saying, but that's too much for me to handle on my own, chances are it probably is. But there are some core fundamentals that you can do that make things really, really simple and easy. The first one is not treat your health like an option. Don't treat it like something that you pick up when you need it and you drop it when you don't. Because let's face it, we're not on holiday for 12 months of a year. We're not in social events for 12 months of a year. Well, some people may be, the fortunate ones. But what we do tend to find is that those moments that really prompt us to get off our backsides and go and do something, they're short-lived. And we kind of live from moment to moment in that time. We're making decisions based on short-term windows, and then we're waiting until that next window of opportunity opens for us to then to be able to take an action. So a lot of people, you normally see this, and I'm going to use the holiday thing as an example, because most people, if they're fortunate, have 1 to 2 holidays in a year. You tend to see this behavior around about 8 weeks before somebody goes on holiday, because 8 weeks to somebody is a manageable time for them to completely uproot their lives, change everything that they've been doing for, previous, and undertake something that is going to feel like it is not sustainable long-term, but delivers on a result short-term. And I say this in this way because that is exactly the actions that people are taking. They look for something as short-term as possible because it uproots their entire lives. The problem is when you're looking at health as an option, this is the only way you're going to be able to see that it is a possibility as an option. Because why would you want to try and install something into your life that creates chaos and disruption? So even as a coach, the first thing I look to do is try and build habits into somebody's life where they can fully understand that what they're doing and what they're choosing is productively and progressively moving them forwards. And by doing so, it's going to allow them to feel like they're in control, but also progressing at a rate that's sustainable. Now, I don't want to pull the wool over anybody's eyes and say that it's easy. It's always going to feel like a challenge when you first get into something that's different. But for it to be sustainable, it doesn't actually want to be that far away from where you currently are in life. It just wants to have some small adaptations that you can feel like are encouraging. So you don't have to then live in this window of 6, 8, 10 weeks before you maybe go on holiday where life is traumatic. And whilst you feel like that first 4, 5, 6 pounds was the best thing since sliced bread, because all of a sudden you've got this result that you're looking for and you've dropped a substantial amount of short-term weight, water retention, and now you feel like you're onto this life-changing momentum, and then all of a sudden in week 3, week 4, you see half a pound, you see a pound, and it's just not quite as enticing. You didn't get to where you were overnight. an unhappy place. It took maybe months, maybe even years of not prioritizing yourself. So where you want to get to, it also isn't going to happen overnight. But it's also going to take a little bit more than what it did to get you where you were unhappy, because you've got to have a return on that investment. You've got to be able to put in to be able to get something more worthy out of it. So I don't want to make this a preachy one. What I would like to do is make you aware that when you're choosing health as an option and you're dipping your toe in and dipping your toe out, all of a sudden you've created a habit as well as a way of living that is potentially doing more harm than good, because you can have it all. And I will argue till I'm blue in the face with anybody that says they can't have it all. It's just about how you go about building that process and having that process either managed or being held accountable to. Everything else around that is quite fluid. It's adaptable. And if you're prepared to approach it with that open kind of mindset with regards to how I make this fit a normal kind of life, you can have everything you want. You can move upwards in the career and not have it be a stressful process. You can have everything you want when it comes down to your physical health. Do you want to be able to drop body fat? Do you want to be able to gain some muscle tissue? Do you want to be able to feel a certain way or see a certain person in the mirror every single day? And I'm talking every single day. I'm not talking about that one moment in time where you think, actually, I caught a glimpse of myself and today I look pretty good. No, every single day you look in the mirror and you go, yes, that is who I am and that's who I'm supposed to be. And that's who I'm living for right now. That's why health should never be an option. And that's why health should be a priority, because you do not deserve to live in small moments of time through an entire life where for a short window, you're happy with who you see. You should be able to look in that mirror every single day and say, there's somebody I've worked towards, there's somebody I'm being or somebody that I'm creating every single day. And I like who that person is when I look in that mirror. That might not be where you want to be in the sense of goal end, because let's face it, a goal is just something that gives you a focus point to drive towards. When you get to a goal, and this is if you're even slightly progressively minded, when you get to a goal, the goalpost is usually stretched again. It kind of moves another step or another 10 steps. And that's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you're never fulfilling your goals. What you have to take stock of is those moments in time where you're winning in those moments. You know, you get to that goal and it's okay to stretch the next goal, but just take a split second to say, yep, I did it, but I'm not stopping here. I get to keep moving forwards. Because if you can safely say you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, you put that suit on, you put that dress on, you're suited and booted and ready to go for the day, and you can categorically look in that mirror and say to yourself, I'm in a good place. I'm doing the things that improve my health. I'm doing the things that contribute towards my career. I'm being mindful of the time that I give in towards relationship, connections, etc. I'm building a life for me that feels balanced in all areas, and I'm getting the most out of it. And the title most is different to everybody. What is most to one person may feel different or seem different to another. That's totally down to the individual. But what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't wake up every single day questioning why. Why am I even here? In fact, no, do question why. Why are you not making health a priority instead of keeping it as an option? Because I lost nearly an entire night's worth of sleep last night thinking about why people make health an option. And it is simply because they're fearful, it's overwhelming, lack of information, don't know how to implement, nobody or nothing to hold them accountable. Those are pretty much the 5 things that I boiled it down to when I was trying to fathom why somebody would make health an option. And it's usually because they're trying to impress somebody that they don't even know. It's usually a visual thing, and they want to be seen for a split second as not being judged. But what I'm going to say is you're judging yourself every single day. That person that's sitting there on that beach towel 20 meters across the beach from you, that person that's laying on that sun lounger by the pool 10 meters away from you, that person stood next to you in a store 2 meters away from you. They see you for a split second. but you're basing your entire existence on that temporary window of making health optional as to how that person's seeing you for that very short window of time. How are you seeing yourself? That's the question that needs to be answered. Why do you see yourself as a lacking priority? Because you don't feel like you deserve to have health as a permanent option, not just one that you pick and choose. That's something I feel like I need to end this podcast on right now. And that's something I feel like you need to be able to take away and say, why am I making my health an option and not a priority? Cheers to your morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope make a productive day of it. And if this did spark a thought in you, please share this one. Grab it from wherever it is that you've seen it and share it with somebody that may go, actually, you know what? This guy, this middle-aged, bald, 40-year-old guy, got a point. Why do I keep making myself an option when I should be a priority? And if you need help with it, drop me a message. Have an awesome day. Speak to you soon. If you're still here at this point, thank you. I appreciate your support and I hope you got some value from this podcast. If you did, we grow by word of mouth, so sharing this podcast with a friend or to your social media profile would be a huge honor. Thanks again. Hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.